guys are all gonna have to like be all up in my business for today in order to see and hear all that needs seeing and hearing.
Or we something around there.
No, I'm gonna bring this forward. Haley is bringing over the gray cart so I can elevate it and everyone can see it. I'll wait till Haley gets back before I really go in. But isn't it cute? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't end up using them for the ottoman, but the scraps that I have are going to get used in another ottoman. So I got this fabric online from a store, from an Etsy store that I really like. It's nice stuff. They sent me beautiful little samples so I could pick a color. The stuff itself, I think, is cotton. It's surprisingly meaty though. And this was, of course, before I had any access to the gigantic pile of retro fabric on the table. So I'm like, help me lift this guy up. Or I'll just plop him on the cart. The back legs are not fully detached, so let's see. That works perfect. Thank you. But this one is essentially. This is essentially put together exactly the same way as this, in essence, right? It has the same kind of crest rail. It's the same kind of like back legs that are attached to the back itself. If I flip this piece of fabric up, you'll be able to see. I mean, it's the same. For all intents and purposes, it's the same. I had to mend a couple of places where the oak, because this is oak, had broken over the years. People had set stuff down on it a little too hard. There's some short grain there. I tried to mimic that pink lacquery finish that they would put on oak in the 50s. It's what it is. It's fine. But the basic thing about it is, you know, it's what is the basic thing about it? Is how simple it is. That's what I'm trying to say. It's got that same cardboard front. It's got padding on top of that. In this case, it doesn't even have foam. All of the batting from this thing was still good. This actually has tied springs on the bottom, coiled springs. So that was one of the other things I had to fix, was to retile the springs and get that working properly first. So that's the only substantial difference between that and this. So once I had that done, I could redo the seat really, really easily, right? And if you take a look, the seat itself just is a piece that's been pulled over and stapled halfway down. What's gonna happen now, I've got this cardboard to kind of hold it in place, is I'm going to take more of this piping, which I'm going to make in front of you guys. I'm gonna do a row of piping all the way around, and then I'm gonna put another thing of fabric with a little bit of batting in it to go underneath. So it's going to, I might actually put a little padding in it just because this does stick out so far. I don't want it to, I don't think it'll look good if it's just like mushroom out of it, be the muffin top of the chair. But look at the top shape too. It's like, it's so pretty. That was achieved very simply by having additional pieces attached to the top that had that shape. And then enough cotton matting over that to make it smooth. That's it. That is the whole thing. It's the tree on the window. At first I did, yeah.
I thought it
No,
was a bird.
it's the tree on the window. It's that mulberry. It grows back every couple of years and just is like.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
The cool thing about this piece though is the details, or are the details. The cool things are the details. So this little bit of piping that comes up and over, giving it, you know, kind of offsetting that portion of it. And then these buttons, which are currently uncovered. It's, you know, the goal is to have fabric covered buttons on here, ultimately. I've got them uncovered at the moment, mostly just to show you guys how this goes together, because there are all kinds of buttons. So let's talk about buttons very briefly. Typically speaking, and I'm just going to pass all of this around one at a time, really, although you guys can pass these. Buttons that you use in upholstery typically are the same fabric as whatever it is that you've been using. You can do like different fabrics or complementary fabrics, or use ones that are prefab. The big thing is that they usually have a little hook shank on the back here, or a ring shank. See that? It's just like, meh. That's nice. You can put a number of things through it, pull it, make it nice, whatever. They make different kinds though of backs specifically. So like this, which I took off of that guy, has a nail sticking out of the back. It's intended very specifically to be driven into a base. So of course this finished off the fabric, you know, on the end caps there. You can pass that one. You guys can take that. Most of the time though, it's gonna be this kind of ring shank thing. That's the most common kind that you see. What I have gotten for us is a professional C.S. Osborne button press, and I've gotten us 2 dies, I think, for it, or maybe 3. They're like $100 each, so it's not like they're super affordable, but they're in standard sizes of 3/4, 1 inch, and some other thing. I have one from when I did the couch 10 million years ago. Yeah. But they are pricey and sharp, and you need to be, and hard to open, and you have to be very careful with them. All right, but this one's mine. Presses like this, buttons actually are referred to in terms of, like, their size is referred to as a line. So like a 30 line button or a 22 line button. And it's just in reference to its diameter.
Is that like in millimeters then that they're talking about with the number when they call it a line?
I think it corresponds, but don't quote me on that. Because this one, it's labeled, where are you? Okay, Osborne 22 line. This is a 22 line button though. Like that's not, I don't think that's 22 millimeters.
I don't think so either.
Right? So that's gonna be something else entirely. This button got covered with this whole thing in a press. This is an uncommon but super awesome modern adaptation for button tufting. It is a prong. So the idea is you punch this through where it needs to go, you spread the prong with a washer behind it. That's what's going on here. Boom.
That's what I should have used on my footstool. My buttons both came off, so I'll make new ones when I finish my cushion.
That's right.
Yeah.
Isn't it fun? I love this. I just, it's great.
So when you put it on,
No, go ahead.
when you put it on, you put pressure in the front and then.
Yep. Push it through, do whatever. You can adjust it then as needed. Like if it's not quite tight enough, you can push a little further and bend the prongs back even further, you know, but it's,
I'll bring that chair in next
Does it
week
come-
then.
all right then.
Does it come with washers, or is that what you add?
This one came with washers because these are actually the buttons that were on this. I very foolishly and interestingly and uneducatedly took the buttons, was like, I want to recover them. It had the worst fabric ever. I couldn't get them apart, and I was like, I just want to reuse these. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get this size, because I couldn't in the self-covering ones that you can get at the store. It was just a strange enough size, right? So I took them apart, slowly but surely. Actually, no, I know what I did. I took them, I put them on the concrete floor in the machine room, and I took a blowtorch, and I just went, and I burned all the fabric off. And then all of a sudden, it fell apart because it no longer had
Fabric holding it.
fabric holding it. And so that was a day, let me tell you. That was the day that fortunately I learned not to burn down the building. But so I went ahead and recovered these with like epoxy to help hold everything in place. And then, you know, with the idea that maybe I'll just like glue these on. Because I like this size on here. I think it's the right size. Otherwise, I do have the ones that I could self-cover, and they're bigger. And I'm like, meh.
You're right, the littler ones look much
The
better.
littler ones look much better. It's just such a like weird difference that like the size of the button is going to make such a huge difference. And I mean, like we're talking about a 1/4 inch difference total. It's like an 1/8 inch all the way around. That shouldn't be that much, but it totally is. Go ahead and pass that around. So these button presses themselves, the individual dies, also come with cutters. These are so sharp. Please don't fuck them up, please. The idea though is that you put like a nylon block under it. In this case, it's the same material as just like a commercial cutting board. You know those white cutting boards?
Yeah.
That's all it is. You have that underneath there, you put your fabric and you pull down on the thing and you punch out a circle that's the right size for all of this. That is very time saving. If they drop on the floor, they will shatter. So that's kind of the big thing. You can also just trace them on the back of your fabric, and if you have time, if you're only going to do a few, well, if you're only going to do a few, then definitely punch them. But like when I had hundreds to do for this, and I did not have the die, or I didn't feel like I could, well, what was it? I tried using the die, it didn't want to cut all the way. So I was going to have to like trim it out anyway or something. I just like, I traced it and I cut several hundred tiny pieces of fabric. And then when I put them in the die, if there was anything sticking out that shouldn't, I trimmed it off then. Did I spend an entire evening doing this? Why, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Was it worth it? I'm gonna say yes. It saved me a metric fuck ton of time. But yes, so the 22 line one is mine, but I'm willing to lend it. Like I said, we're getting at least a 30, we're getting let's see, is it a 30 and a 40? We're getting 3/4 and 1 inch. So like if this is 1/2 inch, if we get 3/4 and then 1 inch, I think that that's a pretty fair place to start. And as we can, you know, kind of afford it, or as we see people that need things, I'll buy more. Because one of the things that I did not buy are shells. The parts.
Oh, the button shells.
The button shells themselves. Partly because I wanted to see what I already had before I went ahead and bought things. Because you buy these in bulk, you know. There's like no buying 10 of anything. You have to buy, you know, like 300 I think was in this one.
Oh.
And now there's only this many, but
And I'll bet you paid for that 300 about what I paid for the package of 10 that I got.
Probably. This came from Amazon, but you know, that's awesome. So here are my prongs, here are the caps that correspond. Great. Just needed, all I was missing was the fabric. So as we sort of like see what we need, I'll probably start ordering them. Art cash seems like a stupid thing to do because it's going to be like, that'll be 2 cents, please. You know, but regardless, we can get them. Otherwise, if you guys want to buy what you need, knowing what our die sizes are, you're welcome to do that. It might be more economical to do it like that. Or sensible, maybe not economical, but yeah.
Nothing.
Oh, nothing? Okay. So think about buttons. Think about the functions that buttons have. Think about the different ways that you can attach them, right? Because they're all going to provide a slightly different like effect and do a slightly different job. All right, so questions about all of this? It's going to be real exciting when we get that bitch in.
You said it was nylon fabric that goes underneath it.
It's not fabric, it's nylon plastic,
Plastic. Okay.
like a cutting board. You
Okay.
know the white cutting boards?
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
stuff.
Okay.
Fiberglass. Aren't they? No, they're just plain, oh, because you're gonna have the
we
glass.
have
in
anything
the
in
fiber.
Yeah, it's Delrin.
Do we
Or
have anything like
plastic.
that here?
I use one all
Like
the
John's
time.
table?
So,
Okay.
what?
I was just saying, I use one all the time, I just
Yeah. I'm
never
just,
thought about.
I'm just gonna get a cutting board from
Okay.
Kroger or Walmart or something
They
and
make those
cut it.
small ones.
Yeah, and I'll just cut it into a block size. It's not a big deal. Don't have to work too hard for it. Yay! All right, so piping. Yay, piping. Of course, I made this stuff. It made my life easier. It's not hard to make piping. We talked about it a little bit, right? How you can graft everything together. This is the right setup for it, what I've got going on right now though. So this is the Singer sewing machine. This is my personal old sewing machine. Yeah,
No,
this isn't,
same basic model.
yeah. When I say this is an old one, I say it's from the 90s. I got it in
That's
1996.
really old.
I know, right? It's like, yeah, they were having a sale on like student models for $125, and I was like, cool, I'm there. Walked with it all the way to my job. This is the like welting cord that I've been using for this. You can see it's a little bit thicker in diameter than the stuff that was on the spool. That's much smaller and more compact. This is essentially just cotton batting in a net, in a tiny little thread net. So I can pass that around too real quick so you guys can see it. Like I've said before, it's nice when you're able to make your welting cord on the bias. Everyone remember what the bias means?
Stretch.
Anybody not remember what the bias means? It's okay if you don't. So you've got the warp of the fabric going up and down, and the weft of the fabric going back
Okay.
and forth. The bias is diagonally across it.
Okay.
It has the most amount of movement and stretch. And if you are going to curve around something, which frankly you often do with this stuff, it's a good idea to have that degree of movement. It was impractical to do with the pieces that I had. I didn't really want to like seam anything up, so I just sort of used scrap here to do what I did, and it's all very well and good. It's fine. It's fine. But I'm going to, the welt I'm going to make with this, I'm going to use the long grain again because that's what I've got, and it'll be the more time-saving thing. The big thing about this setup that I have in the sewing machine here is that I've got a zipper foot on the sewing machine. And it's a zipper foot that is the same width. There's some zipper feet that I've seen where it's like narrow in the front and then wide in the back, and it's like, why? Why? There's no point, right? This is what you need. The idea is that the fabric on the side is gonna go under the foot and the cord is gonna go right there. They do also make cording feet. Woo, look at that. They make cording feet. So if you really, really want to invest in, like, you know, if you're gonna do this a bunch, that foot has the little like cord receptacle built right into it, and the needle goes right next to it, and so it's perfectly placed cord every time. If you're going to make welt that isn't going to be then sewn into some other thing, it's not a bad idea to not go right up against the, actually, in general, you kind of don't want to go right up against it. The idea when you're like sewing it into some other thing is that you're going to sew closer to the cord, so you can be a little bit further away and not have that accidentally show. On something like this, where I'm just going to be wrapping it around, it doesn't really matter. There's going to be another thing under it that's going to like help make that line really crisp, which will be another piece of cardboard ultimately. But so I'm going to try to get it a little closer, and it'll be all right. But I'm not going to sweat it too much is where I'm going with this. I'm not going to sweat it too much. What I am going to do though, in terms of making this stuff, if you don't have to make a lot of it, I will literally wrap it around my piece for measurement and be like, okay, well I need some that goes from here to here. And then I need one that goes from there to there. And you can make individual pieces if that's easier. So in this case, I'm gonna add about 6 inches to either end, just to make my life easier and better. If you have very little fabric, then of course you're going to want to be a little more frugal with what you're doing. Okay, so that's where it ends, so that's where I'm gonna cut it. Oh yeah, great scissors we got here. Incredible. That is the piece that I'm gonna use. This is the one. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That will become necessary very shortly. If I'm going to sew it into something, of course I need to add a seam allowance to it. I think I mentioned it before that what I like to do for this though is make it bigger than it needs to be and then trim it so that it's just like I'm not trying to keep everything as perfect as possible. It just depends though. All right. So I'm gonna grab my fabric, which I have over here. Hello. Sorry, Tree, but you're loud AF. So this is the piece I have remaining. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I had initially planned on this being my seat piece, and for some reason it didn't work. I don't remember. Oh, I remember why. Because of how I did the back. I didn't want to have that welt between here and here. There's actually not a whole lot to connect to. I wanted it to be a uniform thing, and I hadn't left enough material to do that. And so I recut it. I can tell already just looking at this that, it's first thing in the morning, I'm wide awake, it's great. I can tell already just looking at this though that I'm going to have to make a couple of strips, right? And sew them together, just because this is not quite long enough for what I need. Eep, eep, eep. You know what's funny is that Kyle did that one time. No, Woody did it. That was what happened. Was Woody was just like, screw this, I hate it. Let's see if I've got something a little more strip-like in here. So bad. That is so bad. Listen, I'm just gonna sew a sample. I'll do this whole thing later because it's not that important in terms of how to attach the back. It's more just that I want you to see like that part of it. Maybe I'll demo that, like its attachment on Monday, because then I'll have the padding out too. Regardless, it's all set up. Take your piece, make sure it's wider than it needs to be. This is probably wider than it needs to be, right?
Just doing a little sample, and you might want to cut a different string so you're not putting it over your one you already measured.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna like pull it off again. The thing to remember with this is just, that is a good thought, I probably should. Just snug it up. Try not to sew through your cord. That is a thing that can happen fairly easily, is you sew through the cord.
Is the needle position in the center as normal, or does it?
Yeah, in this case it is. It depends on, of course, the machine. This one, it zigzags, but it doesn't go off center for what it's worth. Oh, hang on, let's see what I got here. If I wanted a really, really tight thing, I could put a guard of some kind over here to mush it up against my foot.
And that's what the cording foot would do, would keep it.
Yeah, the cording foot would feed it through at a set distance away from the needle. So.
With that magnetic
Mm-hmm.
thing, I I've got work good on that side to hold it.
Absolutely. As long as it has the metal plates, and that's the big problem with a lot of the new ones, is
I
there's
know,
no
they're
metal in them.
plastic.
Plastic. I'm gonna destroy this guy right here. Because that starts to change direction. There's no point. Heck, who knows, maybe I'll graft onto this one and just be like, do, it's all good. I don't care. I do care, but you know. I did show you guys before that when I do the grafting for this, I do it diagonally so that it's all divided up nice and gorgeous. Sweet. It does. Will I?
We need one of those little bitty battery operated chainsaws that are hand,
I know.
then just go out there and zip, zip, zip.
It's not
zip.
like one of our Japanese saws wouldn't do it like really
Yeah.
fast too.
Trust me, when we take a break, I'm going out there and I'm
You know what?
dealing with that.
Fuck it. I actually only have a little bit more of this. I'm gonna make a strip. So if you want to go out and cut it, go for it. Because why belabor something that I don't need to belabor?
You're gonna miss it? I can't. It's like driving me insane. I'm like, I can't pay attention. I'm like,
Your definition of a little friend is different
My
than mine.
hearing
I
is
don't
high frequency,
Uh-huh.
and so I can just, it's cutting me right through my ear like this.
Oh, dude. I'm
I
sorry.
know, it's like,
I'm so glad it's not just me. Then.
Can
I was
you
like, I'm going
adjust it?
insane.
I can shut it off, I'm just being lazy.
Yeah.
Every time it hits, it's sort of like,
Here, I'm gonna sneak around here for a second.
White surface? Hey, maybe a jump oil. Or did you agree with
So all I did was I folded this over to get access to the longest or the widest part of this. Longest slash widest. And
Here she goes.
she already out there?
Yeah.
Yep. They were both in my textiles class years back, so they're not missing anything that they don't already know.
because movie studios are so union,
that poor tree though.
controlled, that if anybody else did that,
No,
and you were
honestly.
part of the community, you would
They
find
were-
that.
Yeah.
That's off,
I'm sure SSC will be heartbroken that
Like-
someone is doing their job for them.
You have electricians that are doing the lights in the studio, but you have to have
In other
another
words, we're doing
union
this good as
turn on the main breaker. That's how unions work.
And in Chicago, you get fined if you plug something in.
Yes.
Yes, at a, like a convention center.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I see. I borrowed your shack
That's
Sierra,
good.
and I
I
didn't
mean,
put it so.
did you accidentally do that one day?
Yeah. Dude, I did that when I was doing my very first like craft show, big one in a convention center. First and only, really. Where it wasn't associated with the school, and I was like trying to set up the lights that we had brought, and this guy was like, "You didn't pay for the electricians," and I'm like, "And?" He's like, "What do you mean, and?" I was like, "What?" And in the meantime, the kid behind me had plugged everything in, and they walked away. But the organization that sponsored us actually ended up taking care of it because they didn't anticipate that either. You tend to what?
I tend to ask if it now,
It's a smart move.
and especially don't do anything.
They just left, so apparently they were only cutting down the switch, was hitting the window. I've been.
I probably would have too. Maybe they were, but wary of SSC
Yeah.
for whatever reason. All right, let's see. So if I got that like that, I gotta put that one like that. And I'm just gonna temporarily take this out. I'll start it up again. Right where it was. Hey, now you. So, does that, does this.
Didn't wanna cut the whole tree down, just take out an offending branch?
There were like 5 branches that were like squeaking against it.
Ugh, that's too bad.
Harmony.
Yes, in harmony. Absolutely. Ooh.
There's been a great series of shows on PBS on Da Vinci. That have been fantastic.
Is that
Just so
the
random.
Ken Burns one?
Ken Burns,
Yeah,
yes.
it does.
They're
I've seen it
wonderful.
advertised, I actually want to see it.
It was on Monday night, and then I saw the second part last night.
I don't know that I'm doing this correctly right now, but I'm just gonna pretend. What I mean by that is I don't know that my seam allowance is right, but because I have extra material, it's not
Fascinating.
super critical. I'm just gonna,
I'm left-handed, so this is what try writing
come on, motherfucker.
so that when I have to do
I
calligraphy,
was looking
writing
online
music
the other
before
day.
Yeah,
software programs for
And Amazon has
You know,
bits.
Sure.
it's
Couple
music
dominoes.
because I was doing pen and ink.
really?
Sure.
Oh, so you can make your own dominoes.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, I mean,
$130 for the set of them.
I mean, good God, they're so expensive. It was only a matter of time.
I know.
Learn to do is not what
I should have done that bigger, but
I
oh well.
did. I
I
couldn't.
don't care right now. All right, so I grafted this, not very well. It certainly doesn't line up. Certainly doesn't line up. I did not give myself a big enough seam allowance, which might be why it doesn't line up. Let me see. No, that'll just be worse. Okay, that's actually not acceptable. Sorry. Not acceptable, Sarah Martin. Wake up.
That's it. I'm leaving this class.
I know. I'm such a hack. Such a hack.
Fraud,
0 out of 10, exactly. You want to know what's even going to be more 0 out of 10? Instead of undoing it, I'm just going to cut it off. Oh. Let's try that again. Okay. Sarah Martin, that was so
This
foolish.
basically is my whole process for doing working. Make it, redo it.
It's just like I completely forgot everything I knew about sewing for a second there. Which, you know, hey. Actually, fuck it, I'm gonna take that off for the moment. Put this bro back on, because why not?
It was 20-year anniversary for it yesterday.
There it is. Not all feet are like this. It's really important if you're gonna invest in equipment for things that you know, like how long the shank of your machine is. Is it angled? Is it straight? What kind of foot adaptation does it have? Like all of that stupid ass stuff makes a difference, which is why I had to borrow things from Debbie in order to,
And Debbie was lucky when she ordered them, because I had no idea. I just went, oh, I want these. And they were cheap, and I ordered them, and they fit.
yeah, thankfully they fit, exactly. All right, that looked better. Let's try that again. Ciao, there we go. So much better. It's just a good ka-chow.
Yeah, I was at a sewing machine store one day, a quilt show actually,
Mm.
and was gonna buy a foot, and the guy asked me, is it a long shank or a short shank?
And you
And I
went,
went, haven't got the foggiest.
oh.
So then I had to tell him what machine I had, and
And
he
he-
could figure it
yeah.
out. But
All right, let's see if this, okay, it still won't be long enough to quite get that one. That is okay, because it's actually gonna give me something resembling symmetry, right? Ah. I love it when things resemble symmetry. So I'm just gonna see where that other one joined up. And it's taller.
Yep.
Sarah Martin School of just trying your best. Whoop whoop, huh? All right. Whatever you say, dude. Whoop whoop. So to make sure that I'm getting the correct angles on things, I cut an angle on one, I laid it over the other, and then I cut that to match. Okay? When I lay this over, if I want there to be a 1/2 inch seam allowance, for example, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to shift these into an overlapping position to where this intersecting point is a 1/2 inch from the top. That's what I didn't do that first time, that I was like, you dumbass, you know better. This distance from here to where it intersects with the other one, that is what I want for my seam allowance. So I can move that up and down, or in this case, side to side, to alter that as needed. So, right, yeah. And then I'm gonna just aim for the opposite side. I could pin it, I could do all sorts of things. Am I going to? No. No.
She lives dangerously.
I do. So dangerously.
I was telling Katie earlier, I decided with the dot sewing I've been doing
Mm-hmm.
to make a nice little rack to hang the clothes on. And I had a perfect piece of thin plywood. I had a piece of pine out in the garage that was plenty long enough, and it was the kind that's oval, was curved
Mhm.
already on both sides.
Nice.
I went, perfect. So I went out, went in, measured the doll, and went, okay, for the dresses, 22 inches. It should be plenty.
Yeah.
And I cut my little holes a little bit into the upright pieces for my board, my bar to go across. And I screwed that sucker all together, took it in the house and hung the dress, and the dress hangs on the bottom by this much.
Oh no.
I forgot to allow for the hanger.
Oh no.
So
Oh.
I will be making a
Sadness.
second one. That one will be for short clothes.
All right, there we go. Uh-huh. Yeah, dude. 100%. 100%.
Dennis looked at the board I used and he goes, you had to cut that one. And
Why?
I went, we weren't using it for anything. Well, that would have made nice molding. I looked at him and I said, bullshit, that would not have made molding.
You're like, Dennis,
Any
shut up.
way, shape, or form.
All right, so at my graft here, I just make sure that I'm holding it open while I do the sewing. Because the whole point is to have it be nice and flat and distributing the fabric all over. So why would I do some other thing?
No?
I don't know. Variety. Shits and giggles. Funsies, precisely. The extremely technical term, funsies.
What? I'm almost out of my book.
Oh no. Debbie, do you have that magnetic card?
I think so.
Might as well put it up here. Make everyone's life easier. By everyone, I mean me. That's okay. I should get a few for the shop regardless.
I have this if it fits.
What is it?
Ooh,
Thanks.
we don't want to take all that gunk out of there.
Nah, it's all good. Don't worry.
This is the wristband one.
Oh,
And I thought maybe
yeah.
it could just go down like this,
Oh,
if it'll,
I don't know that it'll
if
fit.
the,
It's okay, I'll just use my fingers. Remember, you don't have to speed through things if you don't want to. You can, in fact, take your time. I'm speeding through things, even not as fast as I normally would want to. Because I'm that bitch. And, yeah. Mostly just for, you know, economy of time here. Trying to not spend an entire morning just making piping. Part of it too is that my pedal is too far away. This is what my car was doing. It was like I'd push on the pedal and it would be like, or maybe. Do what now?
I said, I guess I must be taking it home.
Oh, yeah? Coming up on that part.
2 or 3 of them, so I thought I looked
Okay, coming up on it again. There we go. Wrapping that around open. I'm not pulling, incidentally, from the back. I'm just maintaining tension on it. Don't pull when you're doing these things. Allow the feed dogs to do the job that they're designed to do. This just likes to drift because it's not symmetrical. Since there's so much more mass there, it's like, I'm gonna go that way. And it's like, are you though? I don't think you are. I think you're gonna stay exactly where I want you. All right, we're almost there. I'm gonna clip off my end before going too far. I know, right? So cute. So cute. Ooh, Alexis, my love, would you get the blue stapler with 1/2-inch staples? Thank you. So close.
I thought the bird was back.
No, it's me and my ADHD concentration tool of making a sound while I'm doing something. Haven't you noticed that I always like whistle or hum when I'm demoing? Always. Even I annoy me. Oh, why did I do that? That's stupid. I need to be able to open it on the end. I backstitched like out of habit. That's okay. All right, there's my stub. Yay, isn't it cute? Hot diggity damn. It is not sewing beautifully on the bottom, but you know what? That's okay because I'm going to be stapling it to this. I'm not gonna sew it to anything. This shit's gonna get stapled down.
The wide brown ones like that happen, or like that?
Oh, that won't fit in there anyway.
Yeah, I just grabbed what was beside it, so.
I think there's a box in here, maybe?
Yeah. Maybe to move over to this.
Regardless, I am going to move this beautiful bean footage. Thank you. I'm also going to move my chair so everyone can see a little bit better. Go ahead. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Debbie for her hose purchase. Let's see what I got in here. I got some 3/8. That's probably enough for now. As I'm getting to my final layers, remember it has to get longer because there are just more. No, these are headless pins here.
I don't know where
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I feel like I had some at the end here. I'll grab some as needed. Also still get the ruler because this is how we do it. Yeah. At this point, I've got this covered. You can see I've got the batting sticking out here too, just a little bit. I have a few little bits of broken staple that should not be sticking out at that point. This is the problem with putting things away. It's the worst. Hammer. Yeah, do you have one in your area? Is there one in the box perhaps?
I don't think,
Oh, wait. Oh, is there one in the...
I think I sadly put it.
Okay, I'm just gonna go in and grab the stuff that we need, because... Where's my keys? Sarah Martin, you disaster of a human being. Seriously,
Are they possibly in your door?
Probably. Are they possibly in your door? Very likely.
I see them all the time like that, so.
So the other time I didn't make fine this time, but we were in New Orleans.
Your pictures are really good. Oh,
And I was
thanks. There's
helping
last one. I literally did those at
back when they
10
started
last
out.
night because I needed darkness in my house.
Presentation. So we were in 2 different hotels. And
Oh yeah,
after
listen.
I was
Listen.
supposed to
Do you
one.
need more photos? I was like,
And
yeah, I
maybe
can.
all
She's
the
like,
practice
you want to take pictures
morning
of
sessions
me?
were starting in like
She
7
loves being a
hours.
model.
We needed to get them over to the other hotel.
Bonus biscuit pictures for you.
Oh yeah.
I just blindly
I
put
did.
them on
I'm using one
two-wheel
of him with the
hand
cat though for my
about 3
other
boxes.
photo for the episode. Had it.
Started down the street in New Orleans.
Kaylee, what lens is
Got
that?
to the other freight entrance, they wouldn't let me in. Cause I
No, no.
wasn't.
Unsure. Alexis came over to take pictures, and I just took pictures of my cat on them.
It's like
So
17,
wait
I think 17.
for
It's like
the
70 to
union guy
82 or 70 to 85 lines.
Come and take
Yeah,
the in.
because I couldn't take no photos with the other.
And the door was open, no less.
So what did those staples look?
And he took about 40 minutes to get there.
I think I've seen those on like her little word board play, like Big Daddy.
If I would just stay there.
I don't see a half inch on them. That's why I was trying to see.
Too impatient, that's.
I wanted to picture of this. Oh yeah, if possible. Maybe that's what I'm seeing.
Finished our cutting boards.
All right. So, one of the things that is kind of important to consider is anything that might damage your fabric. Doesn't matter, like, if you made the frame, if someone else made the frame, whatever, as you are doing your manufacturing, if there's something that's going to snag or catch or anything like that and destroy your fabric or damage it in some way, that's just bad news. So that's why I'm like taking the time to go through with my personal tack hammer. And I'm just kind of like, I can run it along the edges. I could run my hands, but that would be stupid. Because you know, you're gonna end up with an embedded staple, right? But if I just kind of do this, I'm gonna feel it and I'm gonna hear it. So, yep, those are already anchored. What kind of hammer is that? This is a tack hammer? That's cute. Alright, cool. So that is in where it needs to be. One of the things that I paid really close attention to when I was doing this was measuring from the bottom a set amount so that the top of my cardboard was going to be at that level every time. Combination square is great for this, for setting it up so that you can just like press it against the bottom here. In fact, this might actually be too tall for this because it does not want to give me the room that I need. So it's 3 3/8 from the bottom. 3 3/8. So as I come around to the back here, I'm just gonna tear off the excess and I probably should remove the back at this point so I can do the remainder of this stuff. Yeah, I'll do that. The awesome thing is that the back is just bolted on. Like,
Sarah, what's the rest of the wood that it's made out of?
bullshit.
Goldwood?
Yeah.
But is it bark or plastic?
We weren't talking to you, Siri.
Well, you should be. That's serious about a year. You haven't been talking to me, Sarah, why not?
Actually, I swore at her last time she's like, I'm sorry, you're going to need to unlock me before you can, I was just like, bitch, I am driving. You can just set it down, it's good. So check it out. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Yay! But like, it's got the little ledge there. This is kind of what I've been suggesting to people. It does not have to be complicated. It just has to like make some weight, go other places. So, I mean, shit, look, when they cut this out on the back here to accommodate like what's there, look, they shimmed it with pine on either side to make it not move. This is why I say, what's it made out of? It's made out of bullshit. It's made out of whatever the hell they had lying around. It's just, no, it's the fabric is nice. Think about that exact same like concept with finishes, right? You only read the top finish. You kind of only see whatever is the outside on this stuff. Certainly you have to be concerned with structural stability, but it's not like you have to be super concerned with like anything else ultimately. Aesthetics of the interior. Yeah, if you need to move, Alexis, please be my guest. Cool, thank you. There you go. Huh.
Yay!
That's all you need.
Hey, it's a chair. Look at
It's
that.
always good to have scrap around.
It's great to have. This is a bandsaw box. Hell.
Yeah.
Not even scrap. Sorry. I'm just gonna turn on the air. All right. The little like skeletons of them. One other thing that I want you guys to kind of take note of is that where I've got the bolts going through here, I have cut a hole in my fabric and I have put a staple all the way around it. It's completely covered over by the back leg, which is great. But that's going to keep this from getting more damaged, right? So, you take a look right there, see? All right, and so now I know that if I go to just above that point, that should be good. And it's right here, okay. Don't even have a combo square. It'd be so much easier to do this. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna set this to 3 3/8. 1, 2, 3, and 3/8. Some of us still count like that, so don't feel bad if you can't immediately like throw it into gear and be like, there it is. Perfect. Ish. Perfect enough. Yay, that is what I need, is perfect enough. So all that the paper is doing for me in this situation is helping to hold all of this fabric. I had to do a fair bit of like, it's not pleating exactly, but it's distributing the fabric amongst the, you know.
Even gathering.
Thank you. Even gathering. That's precisely what it is. Gathering evenly. One of the ways I like to do that is to make, like, gather everything up into even ripples and put in my staples in this direction so that I'm not flattening anything out, but I'm still attaching stuff. And as I go, I can either subdivide that with another one that goes up and down like that, or if it's narrow enough, at that point I'll kind of press it down and staple it square, like parallel to the floor at that point. So you do whatever you need to do to make it look good, ultimately. Like there's no great secret involved. It's just, does it look good? Yes? Great. Hello, beautiful. Come on, really? Karen, Monica, superstar. Right there. You can see also how having things at different heights also helps you enormously. You know, professionals have adjustable things that you can like pump up and whatever. Do yourself a favor though, and make sure that you're not killing your back while you're doing this. Like, I'm gonna be in pain later, because this is just, my back hates me, but you know, regardless. If something is where you want it, but it doesn't drive all the way down, sometimes I'll do that just to make sure everything is anchored. And I'm not gonna smack it too hard. I'm just gonna use my cute little hammer. And of course, because I'm doing this in front of a crowd, everything is not cooperating entirely, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna take this over till I know that it's going to be behind the leg. I am slightly nervous about the amount of material that I have falling behind there. I'm gonna trust past Sarah that she had an idea of what she was doing, but I'm still gonna take a little extra out, because I think I like that right there. It just needs to be flat enough that the leg is gonna still wanna pull up tight. All right, so there was that one. I'm just gonna work from this side, and we're gonna pretend that this is already done. Okay, and now, I've got this. The cool thing is that even if I set it at the exact same height, I'm probably still going to be able to, like, not see that. I could set it slightly higher. Another thing with this is because there is so much material here, I have the option of trimming back one of the layers, which, you know, can be not a bad thing, depending. I've got one, I'm gonna trim back this back layer because it's just kind of shitey. Again, technical term, shitey. And I have so many options here. I'm not gonna use cardboard with this one, and I'll explain why in a second, but I'm going to need to be able to not over bulk this now, because there's gonna be more layers added. There's gonna be at least 2 more fabric layers, another cardboard layer, probably some batting. That's a lot of stuff. So in order to minimize any awkwardness in my transitions, just trying to take away as much excess material as I can that then doesn't like compromise its stability. That's just a good idea in general, frankly. If you're gonna do a lot of things at standard intervals, again, if this is the kind of thing that you're like, I am going to be an upholsterer, you can actually make little guides for yourself that have a lip on the bottom that go up to a certain height. You can make them a little bit wider so that when you set it on the thing, it spans a little bit and you can just kind of tug your piping up against it and then staple. So good. Have I seen those before? No. Did I just come to that realization right now? Yes. I feel like that's a thing. I feel like that thing could be incredibly useful. Has someone else already invented it? Probably. Probably. And that man's name is C.S. Osborne. Anyway, I'm not going to go all the way around, but I'm going to just start right here. See? So at that point, I still have to kind of decide what my height's going to be. I think I'm going to stick with that 3 1/8. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the 3 1/8. And I'm not going to do the full attachment on the back here. And in fact, I'm not even going to do like a 10,000 staple kind of situation on here. I'm going to put a little tension on it so it wants to lay straight. I'm going to pop this guy on right there, and without moving it, I'm going to stick a staple in it. I don't need to go all over the place with this because it's going to have another thing on it. If it didn't, then I would need to have it stapled much more consistently all the way around. I still do need a staple like between that, like every 1.25 inches, something like that, so that I don't. Come on now, you come down for me a little? There we go. There, beautiful. And you can see how much I want it to climb, like how I'm holding it up, like it would creep up naturally. So it's better that I have this and I'm double checking the entire time because my impulse is to put it in the wrong place. I can always move it if I need to, but you'll notice it's not like super, super tight to anything right now. It will be once that final layer goes on over everything, okay? See the progress here? I'll do a couple from this angle so that y'all can see. So, tension on the piping. Pop this guy under. Move yourself a little. Might not be a bad idea to start low and then do that kind of thing, right? Because I don't have six hands, sadly. See how that one can really go in? Come right back. This is what I'll do if, for whatever reason, I don't have enough air pressure to really drive everything to pull down. Just come back in and give it a little tippy tap. Remember, this used to all be done with tacks. Like, you can, in fact, do what you need to manually. Pneumatics are just like, you know, a bonus. Oh, pneumatics. I'm just going to take it to the front corner here and then haul it. And then show you the backs. How we do the backs on things. Yeah, I'll show you the remainder of this on Monday when I've had an opportunity to prep some pieces a little bit more thoroughly. Cool, okay. So that's the basic idea. When you get to a place where your piping needs to disappear, what you're gonna do is actually open up your fabric to the point where the cord needs to disappear from and cut it at an angle. Depending on that's both true if you're gonna join it to another piece of cord, right? They'll overlap and have that diagonal join that way. But it's also true if it needs to just like taper off into nothing. I'm gonna need this piece of fabric to be under my leg. I don't need the cord there in order to like, I need the cord to be gone so that it'll actually hug up tight. I'll put the leg back on before I do this so that I'm able to see exactly where my boundaries are. That will be, it'll be on, but it won't be tight. I'll have the bolts through it, but I'll be able to pull the leg back pretty far. And that's gonna allow me to make final decisions about where things need to go.
Those carriage bolts are,
Mm-hmm. Ta-da! Big old fat beautiful carriage bolts with a square nut. I love these things. And a washer. And the washer went on the inside because the carriage bolt itself sits in a square square recess. So it has the square transition behind the head so that it will lock into a hole that's been squared off. And that's how you're able to like tighten something that doesn't have something that you can lock onto in the front. So, yeah, cool. Something cool.
The bolt is like conditioned to match the conditions of the wood as well. Looks good.
Thanks for the props. Okay, so I'm gonna just move this back now, and I'm going to bring the back to the front. Ooh, Back to the Future, everyone. Because we're gonna
Anything special when you go around the corner then?
around the corner where?
You can go around the corner?
Here?
Yeah.
Nah. Because it's not going around the corner this way. It's going around the corner this way. I'll show you when I get to that guy what I've had to do in a couple other places to get things to work. Again, too much fabric is the enemy of clean lines. Okay. So, if you will recall, let's squeeze some of this dish out of here. So, quick reminder, here's the front, right? Looking cute.
Now, did you attach the piping on the front to wood?
No, I sewed this. So this is part of a cover, a front cover that went over. That part was really easy in that it was just a couple of straight seams. I didn't have to do anything fancy. It just had to be big enough and long enough for me to have it do the thing I wanted it to. And then I just positioned it so that the piping itself came into these recesses here. Because they aren't, what's the word I'm looking for? Bias strips. They do have a little bit of a mind of their own and they kind of do whatever. I would prefer it if they didn't, but can't win them all, you know, that kind of a thing. But anyway, the whole front pulled over, wrapped around, stapled to a face that's more or less invisible, right? So I've put staples here. I have staples up the back. I have hot glued it in places to make sure it didn't want to go anywhere. Super glue works really well for this. It's sold as Fray Stop. If you've got, you know, anybody who's like, oh, it's Fray Stop, it's super glue. It's all it is. But it will help keep things from fraying, that's for sure. Let's see. And then of course across the bottom, you can see how it's attached. And then over the top, that was gonna be the first thing I showed you. So, I did this in a very difficult way, I'm not gonna lie. So the first piece of wood, or sorry, fabric went over and I stapled it fairly low. Can you guys see from where you are? See this? The staples I tried to get as low on here as I could. Then, what would have been smart is if I had used ply grip for the whole thing. But I decided I would do it the hardcore way, Sarah Martin, and try to follow this curved back with cardboard. That's very hard to do when it's not a flat line. Yeah, I think I was just trying to prove something. I don't know. But what would normally be done, well, forget that for a second. What I'm looking for now is to have an invisible transition, right? Have just this nice clean line here you know, that's gonna then come down here. I should, and probably will actually, muslin the back of this real quick. Except that I wanna be able to get in here and cover these buttons, so maybe not all the way. Maybe I'll make this so I can undo it pretty easily. But you can see, it's gonna be this nice tight line. Here, it's just a lot more difficult. Getting everything to actually follow what you want and be consistent on these curves is hard to do. If it's straight, this is a really great method. Put it on upside down like this, lay your cardboard over it, and then just staple the ever-loving snot out of it. That one needed it.
Question.
Yeah.
Couldn't you put your buttons on and then do your, like, muslin and maybe a light coating of batting? So
Oh,
that
yeah.
you don't see you don't feel the legs quite so much when you're looking at it from the back?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
That's what I would normally do.
Okay.
If I didn't want to replace these buttons.
Oh,
But I don't have the means to replace these yet, you
Oh,
know?
okay.
So
I see what
I'm
you're
going to
getting at.
still make this accessible for myself. I'm not gonna do it up quite as hardcore as I want to. That's all right.
What are the length of your staples you're using?
These, I think, are still 3/8. Yeah, these are 3/8. I did grab a couple of handfuls of the 1/2 inch though there.
I found this sitting in front of a spot here too that I didn't see before that are happening.
That's not the right
They're
ones
not the
though.
right ones,
No,
okay.
those are for the gray stapler. These have to be the higher gauge ones. The other thing I'm doing is I'm trying to get my staples up pretty close to the cardboard line itself so that I'm able, and there it went. No, are you just being a bitch? Just being a bitch. Technical term, being a bitch, or I missed it because it went past my cardboard. You can see that this has been around the block a couple of times here. It's not the prettiest. So,
But it's so deceptive, because when you fold it down, it looks like it's a nice sewed seam.
it really does, doesn't it? Cardboard.
It's right here. I did see that.
Oh, okay, cool. I just need about, actually, no, I need about 6 inches. Yeah, she's got it.
This is
Thank you
longer
though.
than 6 inches, but
Cool. So what I did when I initially laid this out is I laid it down flat. I folded the edges over to be where I wanted them to be, and then I kind of like, I put pins in it in a weird way. Like I hammered pins in place so that they wouldn't go anywhere. It wasn't a staple thing. And then I would like take it out and staple a base staple underneath so it wouldn't go anywhere. This is one of those, so that even though it doesn't have any cardboard behind it yet, it's holding everything where it should be for me to be able to make this look good. Does that make sense? Sort of, ish. I'm gonna turn this away so I'm able to see it more easily. Because I just need this now to follow that same line, and because I've got that guy right there, it's gonna do it for me, which is great. You may have also noticed that one of the things I've done is I've cut little flanges in my fabric here. Those little relief cuts there allow that fabric to bend as needed, yeah, around the whole thing. And go ahead.
Is this how I'll need to do like the top part of the back of my chair?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Your world's gonna get rocked by ply grip. Yeah. Woo, ply grip. Yep. I'm just gonna lay this down real quick. So I'm just overlapping these. There's nothing that says you can't do that.
what is ply grip?
Oh, you'll see. You've used it.
I have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you've seen it used, either way. But
I just don't remember the term.
when you see it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, yeah. So I'm not gonna bother to do the whole thing, just, well, maybe I am. That looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that, so I am gonna staple it down for posterity. Like the idea of stapling something for posterity. So every so often, I'm going lower than that top edge just to be able to keep the cardboard down. If I can feel that I'm going through a lot of layers, I push down a little as I'm doing this. Come on, baby. Just to make sure that it catches. That's good enough. Bong. Okay, we're still doing all right. Do I know where Ruby is? Ruby. All right, good enough.
Just out of curiosity,
Uh-huh.
since it's all about me and it's all about my chair,
Yeah, of course.
will the staples work in hardwood?
Yeah, they will.
Okay,
I mean, this is oak,
okay,
so they'll totally work in hardwood.
okay.
You just have to, you know, be aware that they may want to bounce, that's all. Okay, so once I have it all down and everything, Debbie is 100% right. Layer of muslin, layer of batting. Completely, you know? And I can just like tack that down and have it be, you know, all I need there. So what I'm gonna do here though, is I'm gonna put just enough pressure on one side. I'm gonna do this side of this, 'cause I feel like this one looks better. Now, if there was a space, incidentally, between my seat and the bottom, I would be a lot more cautious about what this is gonna look like, but there really isn't one. They mash up right against one another. So if it mattered, yeah, I would upholster the bottom of this too in a more specific way, where it might just be that I've got enough material that I can kind of fold it over and ply grip the front edge. It don't matter though. Sorry, Gideon. It's gonna be a thing here. So. Some temporary staples for myself so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And before I go too far, sorry dear, I'm gonna do that. My apologies. I'm gonna cut my ply grip. This is ply grip.
Ah, you're
Remember
right.
that?
I have seen it before.
Have you used it in any of your projects?
What is that?
I don't think I've used it, but I've seen others using it.
Not what I thought it was gonna be.
Oh, the one Instagram guy uses it all the time.
Yes, this is the shit right here. This allows you to get fabric tight around pretty much any shape. It has a side for staples, and it has a side with teeth that grabs the fabric and snatches it and holds things down. So when I use ply grip on situations like this, I like to lay it out. You cannot cut it with scissors, friends. You have to cut it with snips. These will be in the tool cart under pliers, vice grips, and snips. There you go. So all I'm gonna do here is lay it out like that, just to see how, like, what length I want. I can always make it shorter. I can't make it longer, but I don't want to make it so much longer that I'm like wasting a bunch of it.
Is the string just tangled in
The
there?
string is just tangled in there. Just give it a second. Yeah, just leave it. Pay it. Watch this. Yeah, because this is a thing. So that's all I'm trying to do is to get it to come apart. See that? It doesn't have to be beautiful, but I've got like an edge that I can staple down, and I've got the little teeth. That's up there real quick, so you guys can see exactly what's going on. Now you can, now go ahead and unwind it if you want to. I understand.
And where do you get this from?
I ordered ours from Amazon. but you can get it from just about any upholstery supplier. It's called Ply Grip. There's two basic ways that you can attach things in, like, in a way that you're folding the fabric under and then like fastening it down with metal. One is tacking strips, and tacking strips are metal strips that have big old teeth that have been cut into them. You'll wrap your entire fabric around the tacking strip and then wham, 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 wham. This does the same job, so I tend to not invest in tacking strips. The one benefit of it is that it is straight. You can't bend them. So if you're looking for a dead straight edge, tacking strips are great for that. And I can order them if people want them. It's all not a big deal. I like this though. I like this because I can, look at that. It can go around the corner. It can do any number of things. It can follow shapes. So if I have a shaped back, for example, I can, so I did this the hard way. I didn't need to. I could have done it like this and just stapled this whole thing down along the profile that I want and then put my fabric into that, which I'm about to show you now. So, yes, for those recording, you might want to sneak over here. Again, I don't want to have too much material extra, so where I've got this folded over at the top here, I am going to remove some of the bulk. You can see there's a bunch of bulk, like both here and here. So I'll start with this guy. Thank you. Should have brought my gangers. These aren't bad, but
Yeah.
they're no ganger.
Right.
Yeah. And there's just, that's probably okay. One of the things that you can do also, believe it or not, if you've got too much fabric in an area and you don't like what it's doing, you can actually kind of compress the fibers a little bit. So beat it down.
The shit out of it.
Yeah, get the shit out of it, exactly. All right, so got that. I'm gonna want it to go like that. Right up at the corner there. Okay, so here's the thing. You gotta make sure you're putting it in the right orientation. The teeth, like you're gonna staple down with like, the teeth are on the inside edge. The O's are on the outside edge. See that? Teeth are on the inside, O's are on the outside. And I am just quickly seeing if this is going to want to cooperate with me the way I want it to. And it's not quite. I'm gonna have to get it up a little higher and I'll put it under that initial fabric. I think I need to make it shorter on the on this edge right here. Thank you. So I'm just going to cut off that extra staple tab, but still leave myself the nailer. That guy. The grabby teeth. Totally technical term, grabby teeth.
Gravity
Yep. Pop that inside.
or GTs.
Yep. And what I'm looking for is for the outside edge of these stapler bits here to be, that's like where I want my fabric to fall, okay? That's the thing that I'm looking at, is whatever this edge is doing, that's what this is gonna do as well. So if I want it set off from the edge a certain amount, for example, and I'm gonna do this slightly counterintuitively, and I'm gonna start by just attaching it in the middle real quick to where I want it, because from there I can actually kind of balance things out. What I do is you try to get it so that the staple goes through the hole onto the other thing, right? So you're not trying to staple the metal. It'll go through the metal. This is just aluminum. But what you're really trying to do is have it, wow, I am fucking this up. Come on, baby. Again, technical term, fucking it up. There we go, that's what it's supposed to do, right there.
Is that designed for a tack
It's
'Cause
designed for
It's got a big hole in it.
It's
so-
tax or this. I mean,
Okay.
it's, yeah, you could put tax down. That'd be a lot of
I
tax.
didn't know that I would, but.
Yeah.
Be
So,
a lot more work.
yeah, it really would. Ply grip. PLYGRIP. Is that my finger?
Don't-
Oh, yeah, that was your finger pointing at it.
Wow, my nails are long. One of those things you don't realize until you like see someone else. Like, okay, now I think I'm out. Yep. All right. I want the long ones for this actually. Ooh, that bounced like crazy. Hmm. Where's my bucket? If it doesn't want to come out, I will just cut it off. Oh, look at that. Isn't that cleverness? It's not clever. It's just form following fuck up. But it did also hold this down, so that's cool. Now I can start to see that this is going to go too far down. So I can cut it across the tabs as well. It doesn't have to go just at the corners. It is, I don't want to say better, but there. I'm going to be pulling the bottom all the way around here, so I don't have to go all the way to the bottom. It's more important that it like starts and ends at the right place at the top. That's kind of the big deal there. So now that I've got that started, I'm going to go this way. Like I said, this really does do better on curves, but it'll do whatever you really need to, ultimately. I ordered a bunch of it, so what's here is not all that exists. There's at least one more roll coming, and I can always, once they figured out the whole, like, I'm teaching upholstery thing, then they have been approving everything very quickly. I was like, it's an art cash item. They were like, oh, okay, cool. Like, literally, it was approved like that. I was like,
That's good.
wow, dude. It did involve a little bit of back and forth of what I was teaching. I'm like, this is wood shop. I'm teaching upholstery this semester. Then they were like, oh, okay. What? Why do you need this thing then? It's like,
Part of what I need for a
upholstery.
oh, I am gonna need a regulator. If somebody wants to go grab one for me.
It's like a little pointy needle,
Just on wood.
long thing.
You knocked over.
The little part. You know, you
Never
can
saw
pull
cold.
something.
Not that I want that to happen, but that's funny.
Or she would put it underneath something and pull it.
I'm glad that I can.
Kinda, yeah.
It's good.
Like the
Stuff
white
that I
stuff
do.
that goes on top of the wedding.
I got to you yesterday, but I was like, I used you as an example, Cammy. I was like, Cammy was saying something that was finding it difficult too. Cammy
She was
can't do
asking
it.
what the wedding do.
They were like, oh, no, Cammy's a real one.
Pull it tight.
Who's texting me and why? Oh, man, what are you gonna get rid of? Thank you. Ooh, Mom. Just say yes. Family heirlooms, don't throw them away, Mother. She's on a purge. She's like, I'm gonna die, purge. And I'm like, lady, you're eventually going to die. This is not an imminent thing. And she's like, I just don't want you guys to have to deal with any of this stuff. And I'm like, Mother, these are things that we want to deal with. We want to have like a say in. It's like, well, you can always say no. And I'm like, Laura, you've already been such a crazy person about this. It's not going to take that long. Jesus. Anyway.
Do you have siblings?
I have two sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so there will be, I don't want to say there's even going to be contention, just decisions. we're almost there. Thank you for your patience, everyone. All right, so the top corner of this, is extremely sharp. It's gonna damage my fabric. So I'm gonna just trim it a tiny little bit here, hopefully to alleviate that. See what I'm talking about? Yeah, that was gonna actually poke through the fabric, tear it, and maybe mess up your hands real good. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna do a little secondary staple right at the top. Okay, I think that's probably gonna be what I need. Now, the magic will happen. I know, right? Oh my God, magic. I'm going to have to pull in a couple more places here to, make it do what I want it to do. Another question that people have is, what do you do about this leg, right? Because it's going to need to follow around that leg. All I will do at that point is make a couple of K-shaped cuts, like into the corner and into the corner here. Fold my fabric under at that point and then staple on the other side. It doesn't need any further reinforcement than that. If I feel like it does, then I'll put a line of staples right at the very bottom of it. And, just hope for the best in terms of people not seeing it. So, what is sharp down here? Ah, that. The thing I just put on it. That's sharp, of course. Sarah, you were okay. Again, because I am going to undo this, I'm not going to be super duper anal about it.
You said you need a GoPro for your chest. You just wear it.
I have a GoPro. I should just
That'd
wear
be
it.
so funny.
That
A
would
day
be
in the life of
hilarious.
Sarah.
Oh my God, no, absolutely not.
I do have a YouTube channel for like these videos. I just need to upload them.
Ruby would be.
She would like.
She would be an internet celebrity as she fell and slipped all over my house. People would be sending rugs. You need to do the same for your dog. Anyway, okay. Fly grip. Tightened on the one side. You don't have to automatically do this part yet. I'm just doing it to sort of illustrate how I can put some tension on things. At the very least, I would have one in the middle to be able to pull against. At this juncture, why don't I put one right here? Yeah, I'll put one right there. This is a counter stretch. Because I'm gonna take it out again. Won't be a big deal. At this point, I can start to fold the fabric under right in here, which is what the regulator really is good for. So I can just sort of like pull the fabric out, push it under the teeth until it touches with the regulator. Try to do it. I'm in a super uncomfortable position here. Want my
And you
chair
can
back.
take that out without it doing too much damage to your material then?
Yes.
Saving your back.
Save me my back, yes. Sarah does not want to. Oh, such a jeez. It's just one of those things. Yes, you can in fact undo it with a surprisingly small amount of damage, actually. Usually at this point, you're gonna wanna have a mallet on hand as well, but, and depending, you know what, I'm gonna undo it for just a second so you can see. Look, it's like, I will need a mallet. Just a lightweight one is fine. But-
I got one right here.
So this was the thing I had forgotten. Perfect is to,
Huh?
Is that like your chair leg or something?
No, that was when Wyatt did a thing at the Murray Art Guild.
Yeah.
I signed up for it for a turning class and we made mallets.
Oh, okay.
And that was one of the ones I made that day. I made 2 of them that day, so.
hey,
I got a skinny one and a fatter one.
go. That one wasn't all the way. So I totally flaked on this stuff. I like to fold the teeth down a little further than where they are when they're just like immediately there, because it makes this part a lot easier.
You mean you have it tighter or you have it more open?
I have it closed more.
Closed more,
Yeah.
okay.
Hang on, I need to slide that forward. You guys.
You don't have, these are your clamps to hold it where it needs to be.
The Clamp Sisters. This isn't behaving, of course, because I'm doing a demo, of course. It would behave better too if it had that muslin layer and everything, because this is distributing itself weird. But what I try my best to do is get this guy under here enough and then start to bend it over, right? You can push the fabric in all the way to the back at that point. And then this is one of those situations where you having the fabric covered hammer is not a bad idea. Or a plastic mallet that isn't gonna leave behind like a residue.
Yeah, that one's dusty, hasn't been used in it. Hasn't been, it doesn't have a finish on it or anything, so.
All right. So when I feel like I've got it more or less there, I can start to get it down all the way. In terms of opening it back up again, what's this for? My goodness, can I just barely open up my ply grip by running this tapered end right through there? The answer is yes, I can. Because what you'll be doing at that point, once you have it close enough, is you can run, if you're really careful. I was trying to make this maybe continuous, but yeah, the issue here is that the tips of this are very sharp.
Oh,
But look, you just trim it right along the edge, making sure not to cut your other fabric. Tuck it in a little further, you can even get that little bit of extra chunkage right in there. Again with that guy. Or however, you know. I like the shorter regulator for this, but it's all good. Do whatever you need to get your edges in there. And then fully hammer it over. And isn't that pretty? And then from here I can take this fabric and pull it to the bottom, and then there that is. See it? Were you guys able to see from where we were? Okay.
I kept counting.
Okay, good.
I was doing it the same thing.
You certainly were. I didn't see that at all. So again, I've got my square edge here. I've got it bent over just a little bit. Fold the fabric under until it catches the teeth. Of course, I set the regulator down.
you said it over there.
Yeah, this guy's for this guy. The shorter regulator is a little better for this, just because it's not counterweighted quite so dramatically. And like I said, if you need to, you can open it back up again. Maybe pull your fabric a little tighter. So like I've got a little bubble right here. So I can like undo what I've done and then pull that fabric back past the teeth, just a skosh. See that? So if I don't like how it looks, I can change it. And I can undo this without too much difficulty. I don't want to do it too many times, it's going to damage the fabric. But like, if I need to, I don't know, take this off again so that I can replace my buttons, I can do that. What I'm probably going to do is actually attach this whole side permanently, and then just take the bottom off so that I can lift everything, and I'll do my best to slide everything into the edges. If I can't, then I'll undo it, and it'll be fine. So, just gonna keep going up the stream here. Because it's the end that's the hardest part, and that's what I kind of want to show you guys. Got to get to this transition. Transitions are always the worst for all of this stuff. Just ask the freshmen. No, I'm kidding. That's reasonable. Where are those scissors? Ah, extra hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you've got your own, like, nice, sharp fabric scissors, it's really worth it. There, I can see them there. Scrap tools. Again, I'm just gonna kind of run that up. Tuck that in more if I can. It's hard to see, frankly. I mean, there's little fringes sticking out, I can tell that much, but like, this fabric is, it's just textured enough that it's really hard to see all of that. But this is what the regulator is for. So I'm starting to get what I need there, right? It needs to be flattened further. Whatevs. I'm gonna just sort of go fairly quickly here. So to save myself a whole lot of heartache, I am going to pre-trim some of this, just based on what I can like do right here. So I've got this bottomed out at the bottom of the ply grip, so I can see beforehand that I can trim that like here. There is such a thing as too short. When you get to a point where it's just like it doesn't want to grab anything, if it's less than a half an inch especially, it's really hard to make it work. Right at the corner here though, I'm going to, again, kind of do a diagonal cut across to debulk it as much as I can. And then, so this one tooth doesn't really have any, I'm looking for. It doesn't have anything holding it on the other side. It's just sort of like free and easy. So taking that inside corner off as well, so that I'm able to kind of tuck this under once and then twice right there. Did you guys see that? Because now when I push that over, it's nice and clean. So I'm going to bring it back up a little bit though, so I can feed my fabric a little more consistently through here. What I should have done is started from the side that was already connected as opposed to the bottom. It would have been a lot smarter in terms of just like distributing the fabric and the tension correctly. Let's see. Can I do it all the way over? Maybe? Yeah. Take that. Trim it slightly more. Right there. So when you're trying to undo it, you pull down and then pull out because the hooks are pointed backwards, right? So you got to be like unhook, almost like a spring catch, you know? Under once, under twice. Find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming. what I would need to do is go back through here and get all of the little shit that's hanging out, either trim it off or tuck it in. I probably would do a combination therein. Oh, a rhyme. You can also, on the teeth side, if you want to, you can put a big thing of cardboard on top of that, just to help keep this a little bit less, like, inconsistent. Because it is, like, it is lumpy looking until you really get everything down the way you want it. Now it feels pretty good, but you could glue the cardboard to the back of the teeth, you could just slip it in there and hope for the best. But yeah, that's how it's done. Isn't that rad? You can't tell me that that's not pretty fucking awesome. 'Cause this is the secret to making everything look good, is how to finish the back of something. If it is something that you're going to be able to see from all sides, this is the thing to know. Okay? Questions? It's 10:30. Why don't you guys do whatever you need to at this point? Yeah, go for it. And we will